Following up on 2017's Resident Evil 7, how does the latest survival horror entry in the long-running franchise fare against its first-person predecessor? I'm Anthony from the Beta Network, and let's find out in today's episode of Should You Play Resident Evil Village? If you're new here, we'd really appreciate it if you could help us hit our goal of 1,000 subscribers. At the Beta Network, we publish reviews on the latest games and show off graphics comparisons through our Versus series each and every week. Now onto the show. Now, you guys may not know this, but I am a massive Resident Evil fan. Well, obviously not including the movies, but as I was following along with the development of the 8th entry, I couldn't help but notice the parallels between Village, the original Resident Evil, and Code Veronica. I was really interested to see exactly how it would combine RE7's first-person mode along with the old-school claustrophobic feel of the Spencer Mansion, as well as Code Veronica's off-the-wall level ridiculousness. And yeah, I'd say it all worked out perfectly. You've all heard this statement a bunch of times before, and don't cringe when I say it, but this truly is Resident Evil for a new generation. Capcom even brought back the merchant feature from Resi 4, and yes, he does say the iconic line. First things first though, how's the story? I'd have to say it's even more intriguing than RE7. I can't reveal much at all because the embargo is strict with this one, but take my word for it, it's without a doubt pushing for the upper echelon of mainline Resident Evil plots. I even found Ethan a lot more endearing in tone and presentation in relation to his RE7 counterpart. And I don't think it'd be anywhere near this good if it wasn't because of the great performance from voice actor Todd Soley. This guy can definitely sell that panicked, back-to-the-wall sense of distress like few others can. One of the scenes towards the start of the game in particular, got me the goosebumps.
Why is everyone dying on me? This is just too much.
Playing through Village feels just as good as RE7. You guys know how it is. Conserve and combine your inventory, run and shoot like crazy when you come across a big bad, and plan out your saves so you don't lose hours of progress. And before you ask, yes, the color-coded areas on the map from Resident Evil 2 Remake are back. They're such a game changer. Also, Resident Evil is still the king of in-game notes and logs, just letting you know. I mentioned before that the merchant's making a return for Village, and it has been sorely missed, I'll say. This is the hub for all things gun upgrades, trading, and adding cute bobbleheads to your guns. We haven't seen a trading system like this from a mainline Resident Evil in a long time, although it definitely adds a layer of strategy to a series that's all about anticipating and planning for dangerous scenarios. That being said, I really liked the puzzles on hand, because they're not annoyingly difficult compared to certain other games in the series. Capcom's clearly been listening to the fans and seems to have struck that perfect balance of great puzzle variety and frequency without getting in the way of Resident Evil's classic survival horror gameplay. Now, speaking of survival horror, Resident Evil Village gets intense. Very intense. From the moment things hit the metaphorical fan, the game loves placing you in all sorts of dire situations. And since parts of the map can also be expansive, though still tightly packed, you never know where an enemy assault or chase is going to come from. Fear of the unknown is what humans are most afraid of, after all. Well, I'm assuming so. But anyway, I remember one part specifically that threw me off completely was when this one random monster just fell from the roof, supposedly dead. So, as any normal RE player would do, I went over to inspect the seemingly lifeless body for any possible loot, and before I knew it, another enemy had quickly rushed behind me for an easy stab in the back. All I could say was, well played, sir, well played. Along my journey through Resident Evil Village, I encountered tons of unique moments like this. Even though there were relatively minor aspects of the experience, they all helped give this game its own unique sense of identity. And when you combine these moments with the game's unsettling gothic atmosphere and meticulously crafted sound design, it's clear that the developers put in a lot of time and effort, and it shows. However, I can't say the same for a few of the bosses, because even though they are entertaining, Once you figure out their gimmick or pattern, and you can figure it out very quickly, they're pretty much as good as gone. With one particular boss, they let me get in about 10 or 11 knife cuts before they finally retaliated. I don't know if they were stun locked or anything along those lines, but it kind of ruined the tension a bit, not gonna lie. At least they weren't as frustrating as some of the bosses in RE2 Remake, but there was this one chase scene which acted as a teaser for an upcoming boss that felt way too short for its own good. Though as a whole, this game is still very intense, especially when the 9-foot-tall Lady Dimitrescu starts gunning it after Ethan. Then again, maybe you guys like being stepped on? Sorry, I had to put that joke in there somewhere. So, should you play Resident Evil Village? Well, you already know the answer to that one. Just like RE2 Remake, this game is top-tier survival horror. From the awesome puzzles to the thrilling set pieces and intriguing storytelling, Resident Evil Village hooks its claws into you quite literally and hardly ever lets go. Pick yourself up a copy ASAP. Guys, if you enjoyed this vid, give us a thumbs up and be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon next to it so you won't miss an upload. This really helps our channel grow too. For more horror-themed content, check out my review of the Dark Pictures anthology, Little Hope, or visit thebetanetwork.net to read my full written review on Resident Evil Village.